I'm Denver Henderson, the Assistant Director of the Williams County Public Library, bringing you another episode of Oddly Peculiar. Since it is October and spooky season, today we are on site in what is reputed to be the most haunted cemetery in Williams County, Buck Cemetery in Springfield Township. The property that Buck Cemetery occupies was deeded to Woolery Coonrod in 1831. And the story is that a group of young people were picnicking here on the banks of the Bing Creek when a young lady leaned back in the grass and said, "When I die, bury me in this exact spot." Well, she died a short time later and was buried here, and that was the beginning of Buck Cemetery. One of the earliest tombstones in here is of Huldah Coonrod, buried in 1834, and that is considered the beginning of Buck Cemetery. Over time, Buck Cemetery became known as a place of spooks, a haunted cemetery. I'm not certain when this mythology began, but it definitely picked up in the mid-20th century, around the 1950s. By the 1960s, it was a favorite place to come out and go ghost hunting. Over the years, there have been several ghost stories. A few years ago, I was asked to do a presentation in conjunction with a ghost tour of Bryan on the myths, legends, and ghost stories of Williams County. I had never known any of the ghost stories about Buck Cemetery, so I took to social media and asked a simple question. If you've ever had a supernatural experience at Buck Cemetery, please let me know. I got several responses. Now, most of the responses began, "We were drinking one night," or "We were partying one night," which led me to believe that their spirits were more from the bottle than the supernatural. But there are three stories that stuck out to me. None of them had alcohol involved, and they swore that they were being serious. One was of a young man and a group of friends that came out here one night, and one of the group was relieving themselves on a tree. As he was standing there, suddenly the air became very, very, very cold, and he heard a whisper in his ear. An unearthly voice said, "Who are you?" This man swears that this happened. The second story is that a group of friends were meeting another group of friends out here, and they parked at the end of the lane, and they were walking back. Well, they saw a figure dart across the lane and disappear into the woods. Thinking it was just one of their friends, they laughed it off. But when they got to the cemetery, nobody was here. They found out later that the other group of friends' car had broken down on the way here, and none of them were here. So who was the mysterious person crossing the lane? The third ghost story is of a man who came out here to take pictures just to see what the cemetery looked like. His camera captured shadowy figures in the back of the cemetery. This was conveyed to me by a local historian who would not reveal the man's name, but seemed convinced, having seen the photographs, that there was something real out here. Whether these stories are true or not, I leave it up to you. But these three individuals seem to be completely convinced of what they experienced out here. I must confess, walking up a lane and coming up the hill to see the cemetery is indeed rather creepy. And as you can see on a day like today, it's very atmospheric. Unfortunately, along with this reputation for being haunted, has come vandalism into this cemetery. Just a few years ago, some of the larger stones were knocked over. But luckily, the Springfield trustees have righted that wrong and put the stones back. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, a visit to Buck Cemetery is highly recommended. It's a wonderful place to just visit, maybe do some ghost hunting, take some pictures, or just stand here and experience the fact that it is oddly peculiar.